Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. K.P. Yadav, head the Department of English, Sri Vishwanath PG College, Kalan, Sultanpur. As last day, I was on question number 40. I solved question number 40. Alexander Pope is a poet of 18th century. Next question. Today I come on question number 41 from unsolved paper. Who is a contemporary of John Keats? Contemporary means same time, similar time and age. Who is contemporary of John Keats? As you know that John Keats belonged the second generation of Romantic Age. Romantic Age is divided into two generations. In first generation, Wordsworth and Coleridge, and in the second generation, Shelley, Keats and Byron. Shelley, Keats, Byron are the contemporary of one another. That is, in option there is P.B. Shelley, Tennyson, Milton, Matthew Arnold, P.B. Shelley. That is P.B. Shelley. Who is a contemporary of John Keats? 41 number question. Right answer is P.B. Shelley. P.B. Shelley, B number option. P.B. Shelley. Percy Bysshe Shelley. P.B. Shelley. Next question. Shakespeare belongs to, as you know that Shakespeare, the great dramatist, belong Elizabethan age, the first phase of Renaissance. Last day we were discussing in any class when I was completing the video that Renaissance has four phases. First phase is Elizabethan age, from 1558 to 1603. The next phase of Renaissance is called Jacobean age, 1603 to 1625, and the third phase of Renaissance is called Caroline age, 1625 to 1649, and the last phase of Renaissance is called Commonwealth age or Puritan Interregnum, 1649 to 1660. In this way, Renaissance first phase is called Elizabethan age, and Shakespeare is the great dramatist of Elizabethan age. Shakespeare belongs to 42 number question. Shakespeare belongs to Elizabethan age, B number option. Elizabethan age. Elizabethan age. Next question, question number 43. John Milton belongs to, as I told you that John Milton's belong the fourth phase of Renaissance named Puritan Interregnum or Commonwealth period. He is the last poet of Renaissance, Commonwealth period or Puritan Interregnum. Puritan age is in D number. That is, John Milton belongs to D number option is right. Puritan Interregnum. As you know that Puritan age, Parliament ruled over England from 1649 to 1660 in the leadership of Oliver Cromwell. Next question, who has been called? Question number 44. Question number 44. Who has been called the father of English poetry? Chaucer. John Dryden has called Chaucer the father of English poetry, and Matthew Arnold has called Chaucer the father of English literature. Chaucer found brick and left it into marble. Chaucer found dialect and left it into standard language. In this way, who has been called the father of English poetry? That is Chaucer. Chaucer, A number option is right option. Chaucer is called the father of English poetry. Next question number 45. 45 number question is prospice means. Prospice is a word which has been, prospice is a title of the poem of Robert Browning, in which Browning has challenged death. Prospice is a great dramatic monologue Browning is the masterpiece writer of dramatic monologue. Praspis means to look forward. Praspis is a Spanish word. Praspis means to look forward. A number option is right option. Praspis, to look forward. To look forward. Next option, next question. Question number 46 become 46. Essay man Alexander Pope, a great poet of neoclassical age from 1700 to 1745. A great poet who was the leader of his age, who was the representative poet of his time. His poem is Essay on Mine. Essay on Mine is a poem. Essay on Mine is a poem. Essay on Mine. Question number 46. Essay on Mine is a poem. B number option. A poem. Essay on Mine is a poem. Next, 47 number question. To strive, to seek, to find and not to yield is a line from To strive, to seek, to find and not to yield is a line from Ulysses. Ulysses is the product of scientific world who wants to work although he has old and he has given his kingdom to his son, but he is in search of knowledge and invention. To strive, to seek, to find and not to yield. It is the real aim of life. Tennyson says that to strive, to attempt all the time. And when you attempt what is the result? To seek. Through your attempt, you seek something. And when you seek, you find something. It is not the target of life to surrender, but to work, to struggle. In this way, suits are the use of adversity. If you work, you will succeed. This line has been taken from the great poem of Tennyson, who was the representative poet of Victorian age. The title of the poem is Ulysses. D number. Ulysses. The name of the poem is Ulysses. The lines, this grew, I gave commands, then all Ishmaels stopped together, have been written by Robert Browning. From the poem, the line has been taken from the poem My Last Duchess, which is a great dramatic monologue. Question number 48, right answer is B number option, Browning. Browning. Next question. I was ever a fighter. Question number 49. I was ever a fighter. So one fight more, the best and the last is a line from the poem Praspis, Davarvich, Ulysses, My Last Duchess. Praspis. This line has been selected from the great dramatic monologue written by Robert Browning, Praspis, in which Browning says, I was ever a fighter, so one fight more. The best and the last mean death is the best and the last battle of life. We don't fear death, we challenge death. Browning challenged death. In this way, he says in his dramatic monologue, Praspis. Next question, number 50, 49. Question number 49, right answer is Praspis. I was ever a fighter, so one fight more, the best and the last is a line from the poem Praspis. Praspis. Next, 50 number question. They also serve who only stand and wait is a line from On His Blindness. This line is a great inspiral line. Milton describes about the Puritanism They also serve. They are the best servant of God who only stand and wait. Who believe on God, don't curse him, whether the lot is right or wrong, but they don't curse God. They are the best servant of God. Milton says. This is the ideology, philosophy of Milton. They also serve. They are only the best servant of God who believe in God and work. Don't hope for fruit. Don't hope for result. Only work. Work is worship. This line has been taken from On His Blindness, sonnet number 19, written by Milton. On His Blindness. Auspicious number option is A number option. And this is also A number option. On his blindness. On his blindness. In this way, I have reached on question number 50. Question number 50. Next, after that 51 question number, our sweetest songs are those that tell the saddest thought. This line has been taken from To a Skylark, written by P.B. Shelley. P.B. Shelley says that, what is the aim of the poet? Our sweetest songs are those that tell the saddest thought. Real literature is that literature which has the pain of the poor, the pain of the undertrodden, the pain of the suffering, the pain of the exploit. The poet observes the society and after that he exposes the grief of the society in his poem. In this way, Shelley says, our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. Mean, poet describes the pain, the suffering of the universe in his poem. Real poem is that poem, real poetry is that poetry in which the poet discloses the suffering and pain of the poor, the undertrodden, Shelley says. Shelley is right. As kids, as W.B. Yeats, William Butler Yeats has also said that the art is not real. Only the torturing, only something which is prevalent, which is against, that is real and it is expressed through art. If these are expressed, then art is real, otherwise not. Real art is that art in which the real story of the human being, the real story of the universe is disclosed, exposed. Such story, such poem is real poem. Yeats, W.B. Yeats has also said. In this way, Shelley is right. As an Hindi poet has also said, योगी होगा पहला कवि आसे उपजा होगा गान, उमड़ कर आंखों से चुपचाप वही होगी कविता अनजान. In this way, Shelley says, our sweetest songs are those that tell the saddest thought in his poem To a Skylark. 51 number right of option is To a Skylark, B number. To a Skylark. To a Skylark. Next, Shakespeare has written, as you know that Shakespeare was not only a poet but also a great dramatist. Poet as well as dramatist. Poet and dramatist, both he was. He has written 154 sonnets, in which 126 he has addressed W.H., 26 Dark Lady and 2 Cupid. In this way, 154 sonnets are written by William Shakespeare, the rising sun of English drama, and his sonnets are autobiographical sonnet. Wordsworth has said that Shakespeare has unlocked his art in his sonnet. And Ben Jonson has said that Shakespeare was not only one age, but he was the universal poet, all ages. In this way, his sonnet as well as his sonnet and art is pure, genuine and real art in which he has explored, in which he has exposed the reality of life, the reality of practical life. He was a practical mind of universe. Next, 52 number, Shakespeare has written 154 sonnet in English literature. Option is D, 154 sonnet. 154 sonnets. Shakespeare has written 154 sonnet. 53 number question. The name of the prioress is Madame Eglantine. Chaucer has written a narrative epic named Prologue to the Canterbury Tales. Chaucer has written a narrative epic named Prologue to the Canterbury Tales, in which he has described, in which he has painted 29 characters. The head of the religion is Prioress, who was a nun. Her real name was Madame Eglantine. 53. Madame Eglantine, she number. Madame Eglantine. Madame Eglantine. Who was a nun. Next question. Question number 54. Matthew Arnold belonged to. As I told you last day that Alfred Lord Tennyson is the representative poet, and with him Arnold, Matthew Arnold and Robert Browning are also the great poet of Victorian era. Matthew Arnold belonged to Victorian age, B number. 54 right answer is B number, Victorian age. Matthew Arnold was a great poet, and he has also written elegy and some narrative poem in English literature. Next, Milton became blind. 55. Milton has written a poem in your course named On His Blindness, in which he has said his lines start, when I consider how my life is spent, every half of my days. In this way, every half of my days mean before half of his life he has become blind, before his half age. The right option is before his half age. Milton became blind before his half age. Before his half age. A great Puritan poet, Commonwealth poet. He supported the Parliament. As you know that there started great conflict between the Parliament and the King Charles I. Milton supported the Parliament. When Charles II again came, he wanted to punish him, but he became blind. That is why he was only fined, not punished. Because Charles II punished some of the supporters of the Parliament. Charles II, after Charles I, Charles II came in England in 1600 after the declining of the Puritan or Commonwealth government. Next question. The theme of the world is too much with us is. This poem has been written by the great poet William Wordsworth, who is called the High Priest of Nature. He has written a poem in your course named The World is Too Much With Us. The theme of the world is too much with us is man and nature, in which on one side there is man and on the other side there is nature. We avoid nature, although nature instructs all the time to us. Wordsworth laments seeing the universe because universe mean the men and women all are busy in earning and spending, not in nature. He says in the middle of the poem, little we see in nature which is all around us. Little we see in nature, nothing we see in nature, which is all around us. जो हमारे which is all around us, there is nature, she, trees, so many plants, which instructs all the time to us, but we don't observe them, although Wordsworth observed. In this way, Wordsworth instructs the human being to observe to nature. That is the question become one question. The theme of the world is too much with us is mind and nature. C number option, mind and nature. Mind and nature. Next number question is 57. 57 number question is Homer is, as you know, that Homer was a Greek poet who has written Iliad and Odyssey. Homer is a Greek poet. B number. Homer is a Greek poet. Homer is a Greek poet. Next question, question number 58. P.B. Shelley has compared the skylark to a poet hidden. In his poem he has said, like a poet hidden, in this way he starts his line, to a skylark. P.B. Shelley has compared the skylark to a poet hidden. A poet hidden is A number option, a poet hidden. A poet hidden. Next number question is, who cannot rest from travel? This question has been come from Ulysses, written by Tennyson. Ulysses never takes rest. He works and works. B number, Ulysses. Ulysses is the right option. Next, Fra Pandolf is a painter. Fra Pandolf has come in Browning's poem My Last Duchess, who was a painter. He has painted some picture, the picture of Duchess' wife also. In this way, Fra Pandolf is a painter. 60 number. Fra Pandolf is a painter. C number. Painter is right option. Dear students, in the next video I shall meet you again. Thanks.